Alright then, so today we are playing a game book, as apparently they are now called Escape from Portsmouth Forest, being an interactive mystery in which the reader attempts to unravel the previous night's events without losing their life in a creative way. I don't play a lot of game books. I used to love the choose your own adventure stories as a kid, but since this one, I don't think it's kid. Okay, I'm losing myself in the terms kid focused and adult focused because I don't want to accidentally give a connotation that isn't there. But yeah, this is a category of books that I've always meant to like get into. It's basically a choose your own adventure story, but not exactly like the ones that we all read when we were kids. Say we all read. Um, just read the back blurb here. Can you escape from Portsmouth Forest? A knight is surprised to wake up in an enchanted forest, following a night of forgotten shenanigans. That brave knight is you. All you need is a quill to get started. Try to return home, piecing together what you did last night without losing your life through encounters with the forest's inhabitants, or indeed, the forest itself. So the author a bit here, Samuel Isaacson, is a family man, a lover of collaborative storytelling, and an executive coach. So as soon as I saw his face there, I knew that I had to look for reasons to justify my completely irrational hatred of his face. Look at him. Put the book here because I've got the tripod weirdly, but doesn't that just look like somebody who's too happy in life? Am I just a terrible person? Yes, I am a terrible person, but I don't know. Just the way that he's smiling, like he's happy with himself, just makes me mad. Plus, he's an executive coach, which is he's probably a great person, and I'm probably just a gigantic douchebag for saying any of this. Whatever. Plus, he made something cool, a game book, so I don't know why I'm hating. I'm just a hater. You people who know me that underneath my facade of niceness and stuff, I'm just a terrible human being. Cynical bastard, that's me. I do find it interesting, copyright for this guy, map illustration copyright for, I guess, his friend or whoever. All other illustrations are in the public domain, have been repurposed for this publication as a celebration of these works. All rights reserved. I'll just give you a quick look at the type of illustrations that are in here. I haven't really looked at it. I've leafed through it just to see things. They look like really old, sketches and stuff. I completely believe that they were just found online places, that looks like it's straight out of that forgot the name of that French one of the the first encyclopedia. Okay, I'm rambling so hard right now. But another thing I found interesting is that it looks like he's not published through anything. This looks like just a self-published work that he just did by himself. So I think that's cool. I am definitely 100% a jerk for saying his face looks too happy. That doesn't mean I like his face, though. Stupid happy people. Families pisses me off. To the 5 brave, charming, chivalrous persons I have the privilege of sharing my castle with. Alright, see? Dude's got a family, thinking it's... Man, I hate this guy. I hope this book sucks. Alright. I did read the beginning part here, the how-to. But I'll just go ahead and read it again. Since I'm sure none of you have. I'll skip the acknowledgements. Ooh. Although it is nice to know there's something called the Gamebook Authors Guild. I'll check that out. Okay. By the way, I've got a tripod sitting on my desk with my camera pointed straight down, and if you're wondering why I can't move this to show you things properly, it's because there's a pole right there out of the camera. All right, introduction. Okay, actually, I really need to figure out how to pull this properly. I wonder if I So doing it like with just like natural window light and like clouds are moving in front of the sun. Let me just adjust this real quick. Oh, okay, there's this too. Put on the lamp light. Maybe that'll help even it a little bit. So I've got my camera like on the tripod, hanging upside down, and then I've got like my webcam like delicately attached to one of the legs, just that I could stream it as well. And this looks perfectly fine on the camera, but on the webcam it's like you can only see the top half. If I go like that, that looks fine on the webcam for the bottom half anyway, but then like the camera, whatever. I'll just do it mostly like this, and then like when I need you guys to see something, I'll hold it like that for a couple seconds. All right. Introduction. Welcome to Portsrude Forest. Thank you so much for visiting. As you are about to discover, it will prove far more difficult to escape than it was to enter. The forest is an enchanted and mysterious place, populated by many creatures, natural, supernatural, and downright unnatural. The trees themselves at times seem conscious, unpredictably helping and hindering those foolish enough to enter their realm. You are about to enter that realm because you are the one written about in this book. As you read, you will encounter options to travel in different directions and take various actions, which will direct you to read the numbered sections throughout the book. As you flick between the pages, your story will develop, as will the world around you. Cast the light more directly onto the book. This will happen particularly through meeting various characters, picking up and using items, and discovering information. Some of this may be helpful in finding your way out, and some of it will lead you to a premature end, which will typically be amusing and/or unpleasant. The forest is a complex warren of crisscrossing paths, with only a few landmarks to help you find your way. And there's a reasonable chance the trees will toy with you from time to time, using their deep magic to relocate you within the forest with little to no explanation. You will repeatedly get lost. Don't say I didn't warn you. As you explore, therefore, make a map of the forest and take plenty of notes. Ooh, I like games that make me take notes. And if you're really stuck, make sure to visit that website for clues and errata. I promise it is possible to get out, so see if you can uncover the forest's many secrets and calculate the optimal route. Code words. The book uses code words to keep track of certain decisions you have made and things you have experienced. You may find it helpful to use the list below to keep track of any code words you gather on your travels. So this is sort of like a, well, yeah. I guess the story will change based on the conditions of things, and this is how you keep track of those conditions. Tick boxes. Some sections include a box to tick, indicating that you have been there before. When your adventure concludes and you would like to replay, it will be important to rub those ticks out. You may therefore find the complete list of tick box sections below helpful, either as a way of keeping track or to help you find them all. Yeah, I'm just gonna write down the code words and tick boxes on my notes and not like actually draw in the book. There's like, don't forget that one right there. One on the other page. But yeah, it is kind of nice that he's got like a notes and a map section. So like if you want to treat like the book itself as a its own thing for you to draw in, that would be fun. Like I could imagine this like a bunch of elementary schools. It would be a really fun thing. Alphabet reference. You may find this table helpful for solving some of the riddles you encounter in the forest. And it's just like 1 through 26, A through Z. You know, if you're a puzzle noob, you don't do things like that, oh my gosh. There's this one band of light based on where the sun is right now, and it's like completely ruining the white balance settings. Not so much for my webcam, but definitely for my like actual camera, which is recording right now. Like it's completely ruining everything about my setup. Let me fix that real quick. I think that should be good. Looks better now. Free roam mode. Okay, so I really like the inclusion of this next part here. Free roam mode. Sometimes you just want to get lost in a fictional forest without the threat of death around every turn. If you're in that sort of mood, begin your journey with the following combination of code words and all tick boxes checked. Like it just gives you like a certain like status for the to start out with if you just don't want to die and stuff. Just want to like have fun exploring the world, which I think is a cool addition, right? Like some people don't actually want to try hard like me and like overthink every possible choice just to avoid like the cryptic reference death type stuff. And here we've got the map. Sea of Sapphire. Portsrude looks like a city with a castle. Bradfell off to the west. The Greens to the southwest. Langor to the east. Portsrude Forest looks like its own little thing in the north there. And then that's just south of the Hunwale Mountains. Halfthorns to the north. And the Old Horns. There's a river that goes through the forest. At least two rivers. Clearly this map is not like directly drawn to scale, but that's fine. All right. So. All right. Background. The sun's warm rays brush your face through the stained glass window, gently waking you to the playful tune of wind in the trees outside, under the all-consuming hiss of... what exactly? You turn the sound over in your mind and conclude it must be the rushing water of the river Archelon, perhaps full after a night's rainfall. You slowly open your eyes and immediately squeeze them shut again, the morning sun jabbing directly into the depths of your head, far brighter than it ought to be. You let out a momentary groan, which rapidly morphs into a yell of alarm as the realization hits you. You are not in your bed in Portsrude, but are outside somewhere. Opening your eyes again in alarm, you stare around you. Dirty ground, droplets of water filling the air, a tree line, a sheer drop, the endless sky. Where are you? Holding your hand up to shield your eyes from the painful sun, and using the other to try to stop the world rotating so fast, you peer around in desperation. The dirt you are crouching on is edged by short grass, which drops off a cliff edge not far away. You crawl along the ground, your head pounding, until you can see down from where you are and off into the distance. You immediately recognize your location, although you've never been here before. Far into the distant south, you can see the familiar spires of Portsrude Castle, its shadow clearly visible from over the town, even from here. The sea of sapphire sits beyond it, a delightful vision of blue that merges effortlessly with the sky above. The Archelon splits your vision as it flows from almost directly beneath you through the forest, across the plains, and through Portsrude itself. Your heart sinks as you begin to acknowledge that you are in Portsrude Forest, the enchanted place that no one enters or leaves, and your mind drops a new question into your consciousness. How did you get here? You explore your memory for a moment and find yourself drawing a blank, and so you return to basics. You know your name, and you know that you are a knight. The plate armor and helmet you are wearing, the sword and the shield, give you a comfortable feeling that at least you know that's true. And you know that you are one of the Portsrude Protectors, an elite band of knights that loyally serves the good, noble Queen Sophia from her castle overlooking the town. Your closest companions in the Protectors, and those you serve alongside most often, are Sir Engelard, a skilled jouster, marksman, and ladies' man, Sir Tostig, an elven magic user whose healing skills have come to your rescue on more than one occasion, and, of course, Sir Julia. Sir Julia, definitely not Dame Julia, despite the other female knights bearing that title, is a dwarf. Her insistence on being called Sir, combined with her impressive beard, make it hard for people outside of your group to relate to her, and her sense of humor makes her both your team's greatest asset and greatest liability. She is also the only member of the Protectors to have had a ballad written about her while she was still alive. Sir Julia is very proud of this fact, but you are quite happy for her to retain this title, as you are reminded occasionally as you hear the fourth verse in particular sung by revelers in the Portsrude inns. Okay, I think I'm gonna... before I decide whether I want to commit to, okay. I'm gonna spare you all the agony of listening to me actually sing this. Prepare the way, for here rides Julia, deformed creature on a filthy swine. Her belly is so large that you may fear, and due to fatness swollen are her eyne. And like a crane, her neck is long and fine, with which she swallows up far too much ale, for want of which the foolish oft do pine, and all the way, most like a brutish whale, spews up her supper, extending our tale. The four of you had arrived back from a mission only yesterday, having eradicated a dangerous wizard and his minions within their dungeon in the Hunwale Mountains to the far north. Well, dangerous wizard was perhaps a bit of an assumption, as he'd not particularly terrorized anyone, but as a preemptive strike, it proved highly effective. And of course, you managed to return his treasure to Queen Sophia and take your cut into the bargain. Again, returning is perhaps a generous word, as it hadn't really been taken by him in the first place, but you don't like to get caught up on semantics. Am I a good person? In any case, you were successful, and journeyed home, stopping at every inn between the foot of the Hunwale Mountains and Portsrude. Or at least, you had assumed you had reached Portsrude. Your mind grows a little hazy just south of Halfthorn. Everything since mid-afternoon yesterday seems to be missing in your memory. You admit to yourself that there is no fighting it. You need to get back to Portsrud, and given where you are, it would probably be worth finding out how you got here in the first place. Feeling a sense of determination that temporarily outweighs your headache, you prepare yourself to stand. Turn to page 1. Or turn to 1, rather. Numbers don't line up with pages. You stand up to get your bearings and immediately regret it. Your head seems to force you over to one side with a pulsing sensation, and you nearly topple over, using your sword as a crutch for a moment. Gently closing your eyes to stop your head from spinning, you sheathe your sword and, putting a hand in your pocket, withdraw a handful of herbs and a scrap of paper. The herbs look simultaneously dangerous and enticing, while the paper is addressed to you and has a message on it, written with a delicate hand. Thank you for the most delightful evening. I'd love to repeat it sometime. If you'd ever like some company, come and find me. I'll be waiting for you northeast of the light. With care and affection, Gloriana. Ruh-roh. Unsure of who Gloriana is, you can't be sure what she might be referring to. You rack your brains, but even the name doesn't ring any bells. You pocket the letter and look out over the forest from your vantage point, immediately picking out a bright light shining out from the trees to the south. Perhaps that's what this Gloriana was referring to. You are standing right next to a large waterfall, the crest of which extends out to the east. Its spray glistens around you, painting rainbows over your view of the light and the entire southeast portion of the forest. The water tumbles down into what must be Halfthorn River, which curls around to the west, cutting the land immediately in front of you and separating you from the light. The Halfthorn flows into the far bigger River Archelon far below you and just to the south. The Archelon caresses the bottom of the cliff you are standing on at the top of, flowing in a southerly direction, passing the light and eventually rolling out of the forest and onto Portsrud. The cliff stretches as far to the north as you can see. Hold on. The cliff stretches as far to the north as you can see, curling around to the northeast in the distance. Tall trees just to the north sway in the gentle breeze and look impenetrable, giving you only two options to move on, neither of which is an obvious route to the light. The shortest route certainly looks accessible from the bank of the Halfthorn River to the northeast, hopefully enabling you to cross and then head south, descending on the opposite side of the waterfall and finding this Gloriana. Alternatively, the path that follows the cliff edge to the north may give you a way to descend by crossing the River Archelon. From there, you could head south and cross the Archelon again once you are nearer to the light. You look down at the herbs again, curious as to their meaning or function. If you'd like to crush them in your hand and smell them, turn to 31. If not, you tuck them into your belt and move on from here. Follow the cliff north, 138. Follow the Halfthorn northeast, 325. Okay, so the fact that it's even giving us an option that's different and just didn't automatically have us smell the herbs makes me a little suspicious about what the herbs might be. Also, herbs, like, I want to say it's British to say herbs, but American to say herbs. Like, I'm obviously American, but my dad was British, so I say random words the British way. And also, is that, like, rack your brains? I've always, maybe I'm just an idiot, but I've always spelled it with a W, like it's a different, like, word than R-A-C-K. Maybe I'm just an idiot. Alright, chat, what do you want to do? Let me, I guess I should, I'll use that as a paperweight, I guess. No, I won't do that. I'll just do that for now. I'm gonna plug my phone in real quick in case my boss calls me. And also, I'm debating like starting to make a map like right now because there was a lot of text there dedicated to some pretty complicated geography, and I'm not sure if it's going to be like I'm not sure how important it will be or not. Let me just figure out what most. Can't do that. There we go. All right, where are we at, chat? All right, I think I might make a map, but in the meantime, let's go back to his map there. That is the one thing that there was original artwork for. I thought it would have been cool to have like more original artwork in a game book like this, just to give it that sort of that sort of unique feel. Even if it's just like, I don't want to say cheap artwork, but like not, even if it's just like an artist, just like quick sketches that you could have commissioned for like, I don't know, $100 for all of them or something. I don't know. I just think it would have been a nice touch instead of like, not that the rest of it's bad or anything. So it looks like we're like here. Right? It looks like we're like in the middle of it. It's hard to get light on this while I'm holding up like that. Looks like we're like right there. Oops, can't see that. Like we're like right there. I'm not sure how we want to approach this. I should take like a picture of this and then just like refer to it. The options were basically, where did you say the light was coming from? Light, passing the light, right. You pocket the letter and look out over the forest from your vantage point, immediately picking out a bright light shining out from the trees to the south. Oh, by the way, this book came to me via Amazon, like all messed up. And like I worked hard to like unfold it, but it was like folded because they like shoved it in with a bunch of other stuff in the cardboard box and didn't even pad it with anything. And, like I was prepared to return it, but like Amazon being Amazon, they just gave me the refund. Like I basically got this book for free from Amazon, but it normally costs, yeah, it was like $15 or something. I don't remember what it was on Amazon, but it wasn't like super expensive. And what the thing is, when I saw it on Amazon, you saw like the front cover and then you saw like the back cover, right? But there was no like side thing, right? So I got the impression that it was like a really like thin looking game book that like, sometimes like choose your own adventure style things for kids like are kind of thin, but I was pleasantly surprised when there were like 300 odd pages of like mostly pure text. Even the pictures don't like take a lot out from the text area. I was pleasantly surprised by this. one more reason I shouldn't hate on the author for stupid things. Look out over forest from your vantage point, immediately picking up bright light shining from the trees to the south. So in the general south area. Actually, let me need a paper clip or something. Just gonna keep that there. We'll do it like this. There's not like a bunch of strain on one piece of paper, and like there's no particular reason I would need to go back in here anyway. That should be good. So we're basically at this. We're at a cliff overlooking that intersection there. I know it's a bit hard to see zoomed out like this, but I'll fix that later. And then generally to the south. Wait, so is the cliff? Is this up the cliff? Oh, I see. I think my brain was looking at it the wrong way. So we're like northeast of the river, and that's what the cliff is. I think, right? Yeah, right. Okay, the waterfall. Crest of the waterfall stretches out to the. Crest of the waterfall stretches out to the east. Okay, so this is a big waterfall, and we're like slightly to the west of it here. That's what's that's. I don't know if you can like actually see that. I need to find a better way of lighting this. I think if I wait like 10 minutes, the sun's gonna move in a way where like it's actually gonna light up. It's gonna move in a way where it's actually lighting up my desk properly. Yeah, so we're like right here. So we're in like this corner here. Aggressively stretched at the east, its spray glistens around you, painting rainbows over your view of the light and the entire southeast portion of the forest. Like we're here, rainbow, southeast portion. Okay, that makes sense. Water tumbles down, watch me, it must be the Halfthorn River. Okay, so here. We're Halfthorn. Curls around to the west. Yep. Cutting the land immediately in front of you, separating you from the light. Okay, so the light is south. So it's in what he's calling the southeast portion here. Interesting. And then he says that the way cliff stretches north as far as you can see. Tall trees to the north look impenetrable. On the bank of the Halfthorn River, northeast. So I can't go north, but I can go northeast. Okay. Oh no, so it's not saying you can't go north, it's saying you can't go between north and northeast, basically. You can either choose to follow the cliff line or you can choose to follow the river. And presumably the river is not the type you can cross safely, especially not when the consequences of failing are going down a giant waterfall. Okay. So we can go this way. Basically back up to the Hunwale Mountains area. We'd probably cross it at like the safe bridge here. Or if we go northeast, I guess we'd try and go, I guess northeast we either try going like around the whole mountain or we go into like double horns. I mean, it's not good for like roleplay purposes, but like clearly if we go northeast, something's gonna happen. Because otherwise we could just go to the Old Horns villagey thing and then just follow the other path down to Portsrude, right? But the stuff around the metagame around the game book is like, you know, escape from the forest, right? So it can't be that easy. which means that if we go northeast, something is going to happen. I mean, presumably something's going to happen no matter what we do, because, you know, otherwise that would be the most boring game book in the world. But I think you all, like, understand my logic here, right? All right, so let's revisit our options. We get a because I don't know what the herbs are. Curious as to their meaning or function. If you'd like to crush them in your hand and smell them, turn to 31. I mean, that could, if that goes well, what'll probably happen is we'll check a checkbox saying that, you know, we now know what the herbs are, right? And if that goes badly, we'll check a checkbox saying we're now high as fuck, right? So let's just make a note of it for now. Shouldn't be using the nice brush pen like that, but whatever. All right. We haven't figured out yet whether the person who made this is the kind of person to put in unfair deaths or things like that. So I will just think about what I would do in real life, assuming I had like a mental image of this layout. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, the thing is, I don't have like a sense of scale here, right? So I don't know if it would take me like in universe like all day to go to the old. Let's say thorns or horns. Can't tell. The old horns. Well, I think what I'd probably do. Man, the sunlight is ruining the contrast. What I'll do, I will just go northeast. All right, should I crush the, I'm not going to crush the herbs. I'm going to go northeast. Follow the half thorn northeast. Turn to 325. Dang. That's really far into the book. I hope that doesn't mean anything. 325. All right. Your progress along the riverbank is not entirely unpleasant, to your surprise. The sun, warming your skin, plays with the rushing water on your right-hand side, causing sparkling lights to dance across your vision, and the spray is quite refreshing and very gratefully received. As you dwell on your appreciation of the water droplets, your eye catches something scratched onto a rock by the water, revealing that you are not alone. Alright, so it looks like a code. Unsure as to how to pronounce this nonsense, let alone what it means, you continue along the riverbank. Turn to 394. Nope, I refuse. I'm going to sit here like an autistic video game player that I am, and I'm not actually autistic, but you know what I mean. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to break this code, because I love cryptography. Oh, hey, Mario. I am playing a game book. Escape from Portsmouth Forest. This is sort of like the maze thing we were doing, except it's more like a choose your own adventure book. Just because nobody's watching, I think I might stop soon. And also, like, the way that the sun is coming in from the window, it's like it's ruining the contrast in my video. And like, because like I've got my webcam here, but then like I've also got my camera like here, and like my camera is just like the contrast is ruining everything. So I was thinking I was gonna stop soon and like review the video and like see if it's like working right. So yeah, when are you streaming, Mario? Did you start the book today? Yeah, I started it like whenever my stream started, that's when I started the book. I did read like it was like an introduction part that was worth reading, and then I talked about I also before I start I talked about how I hate the way the author looks. He just looks like he looks like super happy and like his life is good. And I hate it. And like he's a family man, a lover of collaborative storytelling, and he's an executive coach. So like I feel like at least on a little bit I'm like slightly justified in my irrational hate for the way his face looks, just because his main job is as an executive coach. But yeah, I probably shouldn't be such a negative person. So okay, so QD is how justified hate agreed. Thank you. QD is how two different words are starting. So that could very easily be TH and then S, G. You see any other patterns here? I see GS at the end of two. One of them's a 3-letter though. I don't see any real repeated 3 letters. I see a repeated 2-letter. I see DL and DL. So that's probably it, to, at, something like that. No, on, DL. DL. D is also at the beginning. QD and then also DL. So that means D is most likely... I guess we don't know. Also DL NB. I see EMHE and EMZ. Maybe EM is TH. Z would be E. It could also be, because it's like sort of medieval themed, right? It could also be like THY for like thy, which does complicate things a little bit. Unsure as to how to pronounce it. See, all right. Here's the difference between me playing by myself and me streaming, right? Me playing by myself, I'm literally just not going to do anything else, and I'm just going to sit here and like try and break this code. Me streaming, I'm just going to go ahead and turn to the next part and go to 394. Oh, by the way, QD equals TH, then S, doesn't S equal val? Well, the thing is about TH specifically is that like THR thrice or something like that, 3. I guess would it only be R? THR, unless it's like a obscure like THY word like time or something. BH with H vowel. H vowel. Yeah, that's kind of the logic I'm going through. Yeah, I'm just gonna move on. I guess since you're here, I'll give you like a recap of the beginning. Basically, we woke up in a fort. We're a knight. We went up to the mountains up there to supposedly recover some stuff for the queen from a wizard, and it implied that we were kind of imperious that she took it from them. But whatever, we're a knight. We follow our lovely queen's orders. And then we got into the enchanted forest on the way back, and we've forgotten what's happened for like the last day, and we've woken up. We're on top of a cliff. I don't know if you can see it. We're on top of a cliff, like right here. And then our options are to go northeast to follow a river, or to go north and follow the cliff line until the cliff like descends. So our goals are A, get out of the forest and back home to Portsrude, this city here. That's goal number 1. And then goal number 2 is to figure out what the heck happened to us. And then we got this letter. We found this letter on ourselves. Thank you for the most delightful evening. I'd love to repeat it sometime. If you'd ever like some company, come and find me. I'll be waiting for you northeast of the light. With care and affection, Gloriana. We don't know who that is. But in this forest, we see light about here. Quote unquote south of us. We see light like here. So like northeast of the light could be up here, or it could be like, you know, closer to the light down there. We're up a cliff, and like we can't cross the river. So our options right now were to go north following the cliff line, or to go northeast following the river line. I chose to follow the river line. Oops, oh god, I lost the page. Where was it? 325. Yeah, and then we followed it, and we saw some stuff scribbled on a rock. That's the stuff scribbled on a rock. And then, unsure of what it means, you continue along the riverbank, turn to 394. So that's where we are right now. 94. If you have both code words, all right, so it keeps track of the state based on, like, code words, right? So, like, if you know, if we've like been somewhere and it's like, oh, you know, you've received this from the person, you've got this code word, right? I think that's what it uses, right? It's got code words and stuff. So if you have 294, if you have both code words, Simulcles and Sansfoy, turn immediately to 342. I don't have any of them. If you have the code word this but not that, go to this. If I don't have the code word Simulcles, whether or not I have the other code word, go to 283. So presumably this is because like I'm visiting a place that I can come back to, and like things are going to change based on what I have and or do and don't know. So I'm going to 283 now. I got a quick look at a cute girl. 283. Here we are. You are standing on the northwest bank of the Halfthorn River. Rushing past you towards a waterfall in the distance. You can see a cloud of spray rising into the air, and the noise that is reaching you even here gives you an idea that the water has quite some distance to fall when it reaches the edge. Northwest bank of the Halfthorn River. Rushing past you towards the waterfall. So that waterfall was where we were, where we woke up. Oh, so we haven't gone that far. You see a cloud of spray rising into the air. Noise is reaching even here. The idea that water has quite some distance to fall. We knew that because we looked at it, so I don't know why it's bothering to describe that. The brushes to your side suddenly shake, making you jump and hold up your weapon instinctively. We have a sword and a shield. Although nothing happens for several minutes, and you relax your stance. The riverbank is accessible in both directions. Alright, so we can go back southeast. If we go southwest, that's where we came from. So it's a little bit suspicious. I guess it would make more sense in other contexts. I mean, I want to like minimize the amount of decision making that I do that is based on like, you know, trying to think about what the author intends me to do, because that kind of takes you out of like the fun of doing a game book, right? If you're like, oh, the author gave us the option to do this, so clearly we have to do that, right? Like it's not fun to do that, you know? Oh my god, the sunlight coming at the wrong angle is screwing up my white balance so badly. Thanks for banning them. So yeah, I'm just gonna go northeast, even though like seeing that I have the option to go southwest, like if I didn't care about like putting myself into the story, I'd go southwest, but I will continue going northeast. Go to 354. So somebody's following me. Man, I am really tempted to just go back and like break that code. I hate the feeling that like I could know something more, but I don't. Oh, by the way, Mario, I was thinking, I think it's about time we like, if we wanted to continue doing the maze thing, I think we should just spoil ourselves a little bit and just like get hints. But it's up to you, of course. You continue along the riverbank for a little while, eventually slowing your pace as you become aware that things are so still and quiet around you that something must be wrong. Unable to prevent an expectation of threat rising within you, you look around but see nothing. Your only companions seem to be the sounds of the wind through the trees, the birds calling to one another, the insects buzzing around, and now the distant hiss of the waterfall. An increasing level of distrust in you now. You move forward until you reach the end of a bridge reaching over the river. Go to 391. It is interesting that there's like little bits. Like, by the way, all of these images except for the map at the beginning are like public domain. So 391. If the box above is ticked, turn immediately to 233. If not, put a tick in it now and turn to 372. Okay. Instead of actually drawing the book, we're going to go... That's 391. So actually, when I get a moment, I'll come back and I'll put in that whole code right there for the notes so I can like look at it without having to go back. All right, we're taking it now. Go to 372. Leaning against the corner of a stone bridge that reaches over the Halfthorn River is a mysterious creature apparently made entirely of leaves. You note with surprise that its body appears as solid as the stone acting as its crutch, and indeed it looks rather stronger. Its face is that of a full bearded man, and it, or he, is smoking a thick pipe made apparently of an acorn at the end of an oak branch. You recognize it as the Green Man, a character you've often heard tales about, not all complimentary. Ah, finally, he says brazenly, breathing out thick green smoke and smiling disconcertingly at you. I've been meaning to welcome you to my forest since yesterday. Apologies, I was sorting out the bejeweled glade. Well, now we've met, take these words of mine. A centaur may be friend or foe, for on his hoof is but one toe. You are momentarily stunned to silence by this nonsense, aware that you have never counted the toes on a centaur's hoof, and therefore could not provide a rebuttal. You are desperate to leave, but the Green Man is looking at you expectantly. Okay, will you thank him for his advice, or tell him that you think he's wasting your time? I mean, do we want to die? I could try using an overhead lamp to help bounce out the sun, by reading off the screen capture instead of the book. Sometimes I hold it up off screen. Yeah, so the thing is, like, the way my tripod is, like, I'm bumping into the tripod right here. Like, if I hold it down here, I can see it, and, like, if I hold it up here, like, you can't see it unless I, like, tilt the book. And I've actually got my lamp over here pointing, but, like, in the sunlight, it doesn't, like, do anything. about like you can like kind of see the reflection. Like it's such a weak lamp compared to the sunlight itself. One option I have is to like actually close my blinds and do that. Actually, I'll try that. Since I've got a moment here, I will try that. I'll just close the actual blinds. This is much better, isn't it? This is probably loads better, right? Not the only reason I didn't do this before is because it's actually like not as bright overall, but I think this is much better. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and ignore everything everyone would say in chat and not tell him that he's wasting my time because I don't want to die yet. So I will go to 382. The green man holds his steady smile and leans toward you. My pleasure, little one. Now, allow me to offer you some advice to help you on your quest. If a choice you are offered between orb, scepter, and crown, only one of these things will take you down. She may have been released, or he may have kept her, but on my life, avoid selecting the scepter. The green man begins to stride away and then turns back to you. While you're here, I don't suppose you'd do me a favor? There's an apple tree not far from here which also grows pears. Absolutely delicious pears. Go and bring one back here for me, will you? Cross the bridge and head south, but don't descend the cliff next to the waterfall. Head a bit further east. Go down the next ladder, head southeast, and you'll find it. Thank you. He laughs to himself, turns away again, and leaves you alone again, wondering what has just happened. Turn to 81. Okay, so. Green man says not. I don't know if I spelled that correctly. So I need to stop using that marker. I'm just going to wear it away. No reason. No sun is snatched, though. It's difficult stuff. Okay. Yeah, the thing is, like, my window, like, there are a handful of hours in the day where it's, like, the perfectly lit setup. And then outside of those hours, it, like, is just, like, perfectly wrong. Like, I feel like in 30 minutes, like, if I open the window up again, it's just going to be, like, lit completely properly. All right, I'm going to 81. While I'm here, I'm just gonna, where is the origin? Here we go. I want to write this down. Okay. We've got Q, B, S, Z, V, F, M, H, S, T, N, G, R, E, G, S, vodka, Vnkda, D, L, E, M, H, E, E, M, Z, D, L, and B. Type it in chat. Oh, okay, good idea, I will. Q, D, G, S, N, Q. It's the worst Q again. A, E, L again. S M H S B D. This pen is too thin to see properly, isn't it? F N H S B D S N Q O Q N E E N X J M Z S. In chat as well. Q D S Z V F M H S T N G R D S V N K D A D L C M H E C M Z D L M V. Top line, bottom line was okay. S A D L F M H S E D S O P N P T N X J M Z G S. Oops, where was I going? 81, right? I was going to 81, right? Sure hope I was going to 81. 81, okay. I think probably whenever I call it quits for the day, and I'm not gonna like, I'm gonna be honest, Mario. The moment you want to stream, I'm gonna stop, and I'm gonna review like my stream setup and see how good or terrible the video was. But at the moment you want to stream, just tell me, and I'm gonna stop. And I might stop before then anyway. All right. You are standing at the northernmost end of a stone bridge, with 6 large steps leading up to a raised platform that extends to the south bank of the Halfthorn River, just at a point where it changes direction, flowing to you from the east and away from you, flowing to you from the east and away from you to the southwest. A large pillar halfway across supports a short, roofed section to protect those crossing from the elements as they step out of the trees. Paths lead away from here into the forest to the west and along the riverbank in both directions. Oh man, going back to the map. I don't think this is like the Halfthorn East. Oh, the Halfthorn East? Okay, so this must be like a smaller area that's like not depicted on the map. Wow, that's actually super in shadow. This must be like a smaller area that's not like. Oh, okay, I'm not even gonna bother holding that up because it's hard to see. It's so hard to see. Oh, maybe if I do it like that. If I really commit to it, you can see. So I'm guessing we're not like at the big bridge, like next to the town, because so I think we're like at some smaller place that's just not depicted on the map. So all right, I'm gonna go back to I should really just go back to that spot and double check his instructions. Cross the bridge south, follow the path west, follow the Halfthorn east, follow the Halfthorn southwest. Okay, southwest is where we came from. So I don't particularly want to go talk to the guy again unless we've got the thing he wanted. But I forgot. Okay, let me go back to those notes. What was it 390? Oh, man, where did I come from? Damn it! The oh god, oh god, I don't want to like accidentally spoil myself by like reading the stuff. Do remember I had to flip past the image of a woman. Okay, 382. The green man holds the smile steady. Choice. Okay, while you're supposed to be apple tar not far from here. Okay. Cross the bridge and head south. So his directions were and directions. Cross bridge, head south. Cross bridge, head south. Don't descend the cliff next to the waterfall. Head a bit further east. Further east, go down the next ladder. Presumably there's multiple ladders to go down this. Head southeast. Okay. So, cross the bridge south, follow the path west. Okay, we have no idea what is. Follow the half-thorn east. Follow the half-thorn southwest. Okay, so options are follow the half-thorn southwest. Following the half-thorn southwest would basically mean turning directly around. Following the half-thorn east, I believe would eventually, it would head us in the direction of the Old Horns. I think that's the name of that, or is it called Half-Thorn? I don't understand which one of these is the name of the city. I think Half-Thorn is the name of the city, and it's also the name of the river. Right, so I think we're like here-ish, right? Not at the big bridge, because the river isn't going to the east there. I think we're at like a small bend somewhere in here that isn't depicted. I could be wrong though. Yeah, because it's talking about like going down the cliff, so we can't be like super far away. We can't be like out of the forest, you know? So I think if we followed it quote unquote east, we'd end up in the town, which would be a strategy to just like ignore the forest and get home. That would be a strategy. And then cross the bridge south is the obvious choice to do what he wants us to do. And then apparently there's a path to the west. And I don't see anything west on the map. I don't see anything west on the map that we would go to. Like, I don't even know why it's well, I guess if we have a bridge, it's going to be connecting two different paths, right? So, like, it wouldn't make sense for there to not be an additional path. Because we're not on a path, we were just following the river. So I guess that makes sense in universe. So I'll just go ahead and cross the bridge south. Unless there are objections from chat. I will go to 385. By the way, let me know if the music's like too loud or too soft. 385. That's fine. 385. If you have the code word acrasia, turn immediately to 59. If not, go to 176. Okay, I don't like how that's written above a depiction of a skull. I do not like that at all. Okay, and also I said I was going to minimize the number of like in-universe things I do, but like I wonder if the word like acrasia fits in here. So there's no words that begin and end with the same letter, so it doesn't look like it. Like I'm wondering if I can like decode this and like congratulations, you found the code word acrasia or something like that, you know? Okay, 176. Okay. You cross the bridge, pausing at the halfway point to look up and down the river. In the distance to the east, you can see the river slowly bending round to the north, at which point the trees stop, the edge of the forest. Looking downstream, the spray from the waterfall adds an ethereal shimmer to the air, giving you goosebumps for a moment. Okay, so we are not very far away from where we started, because we started right at the top of that waterfall. You continue to the southern end of the bridge. Turn to 207. You reach the southern end of a stone bridge, reaching over the Half-Thorn River, which bends around at this point. It flows here from the east and away from here to the southwest. A long path leads along the riverbank in both directions. Oh, both directions. The path leading to the east seems to move into a supernatural level of darkness as it rolls into the trees. Okay, so we're not gonna cross the bridge. Cross the bridge and head south. Then next to the waterfall, head to the east. Follow the Half-Thorn east, follow the Half-Thorn southwest. Okay. When he said head south, he didn't mean like immediately. He just like, yeah, the bridge is to the south, cross it. I think that's what he meant. Don't descend next to the waterfall, head a bit east, right? So don't follow the river back down there, head a bit east. So I guess follow the Half-Thorn east is what I do now. If we're doing what he wants us to do, and I don't see a reason not to do what he wants us to do. Like obviously he's not quote unquote all good. Like the guy, or not everything we've heard about him is complimentary. But he seems to have given us advice, and like I don't see any reason why we should shove it in his face. He seems to be a more powerful person, and we're in the Enchanted Forest, so all the Half-Thorn East turn to 90, unless there are objections from the chat. I'll give you all a chance to object while I get the last of my coffee. Right, you have forever holding your peace. We're going 90. You can't see it in there, but the path follows the riverbank for a little while, lined on your left-hand side by reeds and flowers that benefit from the water as it runs steadily past. After a while, the Half-Thorn leans to the northwest, and you find yourself being led into the forest. A surprising level of darkness suddenly falling on you the moment you step across the tree line. Okay, was I supposed to follow the river to the southwest and then go east? Is that what he wanted me to do? Like, You said go south and then head a bit east. I'm kind of thinking we were actually supposed to just follow the river. I think that's what we were supposed to do. Now that I think about it. The river goes southwest. And you said go south, but he probably just meant like southwest-ish. Right? I don't know. I mean, I've chosen to go east, but I chose to go east because I thought it would. Leans to the northwest. Leans to the northwest. Whatever. All right, I'm gonna go to 191, but I think if it gives me the option, I'm gonna turn around and go down the river. If you have the code word Triamond and the box above is not ticked, put a tick in it now and turn to 144. If you do not have that code word or the box is already ticked, turn instead to 281. But don't tick it? Okay. 281. I feel like I'm about to like do something bad. I feel like it's all going to come down to the fact that I misunderstood the directions. You are at a point in the path a short distance from the riverbank, which you can just see to the west. To the southeast, the path takes you deeper into the trees. The area that you are in seems impossibly dark when you look at the open sky to the west, and it seems to get even darker to the east. Okay. I think I'm going to turn around and just follow the river. Any objections? I think I'm just going to turn around and follow the river. By the way, Mario, if you're still listening, how is my mic? I'm using my nice mic that I got for recording singing like years ago. And I never used it because the stand that came with it had like an adapter screwed into it that I couldn't screw out. But I finally like unscrewed it, and now I can like actually mount it properly. I'm gonna go west, 299. Okay, that's a major spoiler. The path quickly connects to the bank of the Halfthorn River and continues west. The brightness now that you are outside of the supernaturally dark forest, a surprise to your eyes, and doing nothing to help your headache, which seems to choose now to double down on hammering into your temples. Man, I'm the worst, like, narrator. Not too far into the distance, you see a bridge stretching to the north bank, and you make your way there. 207. You reach the southern end of a stone bridge, reaching over the Halfthorn River, which bends around at this point. It flows here for the east. Long path. Okay. Not north, not east, we just went there. We're going to follow the Halfthorn this time to 14. I'm not sure. Are these things like just here to separate? Are these pictures that I'm pointing at that you can't see? Are they just here to like separate the text for fun? Or are they just here for like I don't think this is supposed to be tied with 207. So maybe it's like tied with like 208 here, but then like I don't want to read 208 to spoil it. All right, follow the Halfthorn southwest, turn to 14.